Is up? Clinton Young here, international keynote speaker, sales communication coach, and self-proclaimed awesome podcast guest. If you're an entrepreneur who speaks and uses speaking, podcast episodes as an example, podcast guest speaking as a means to grow your business, then this video is absolutely for you, because we're going to be talking about the number one mistake that everybody makes, that I find all over the place they're making when they record podcast episodes, specifically when they're a guest speaker on another person's podcast. Check this out. The biggest mistake, you want to know what it is? It's not recording yourself when you are speaking. Yes, I said it. I'm talking tripod off to the side or out behind you. I like doing it sometimes from the side. They can then see the screen because of a couple of reasons. Check this out. If you're a world-class athlete, what do you always do all day, every day leading up to game day? What do? You practice, right? You got to get the reps in. But then what do you do after practice? You watch the game tape. There's not a world-class athlete on the planet that does not watch their game tape. So if you want to become super effective with your speaking, to be able to drive business, drive referrals, drive opportunities, then you've got to watch your game tape, right? It's the only way to deepen your level of awareness and grow as a speaker. But the biggest reason I want to talk to you about today is, write this down, you want to become omnipresent. What? Omnipresent, right? What does that mean? In your marketing, in your social media channels. What that means is every time somebody sees you online, you want them to see you speaking. I don't care if it's on a podcast, like where you're doing it through a Zoom, or if you're doing a live interview podcast, a panel, a keynote message, you're standing up at a networking event, right? You're on stage, you're in a group, wherever you're at. You want to get videos, you want to get pictures. Every single time you speak, you want to get videos and pictures. And then check this out. How do you become omnipresent? Number one, you can really squeeze all the juice out of this lemon as well. Before you even go online or go live, or if you're doing I did a live podcast episode recently with Rock Your Gift. And before I even went in, I took a couple selfies out in front of the studio, and then I snapped a couple shots on the way in. And you can post even before you go live and get that out there. Hey, fired up to be on the Rock Your Gift podcast. Ping the host, right? Ping the host, Sean Stewart. And what are they going to do once you ping them? What are they likely going to do? They're likely going to like it, possibly comment on it, possibly even share it with their networks. So before you even go live, you could already be getting some juice out of this speaking opportunity. Then you're going to obviously record it when you're there. And as soon as you leave, what are you going to do? You might even take a selfie with the host. That's a great thing to do, whether you're on stage or you're on Zoom. You could do it where you're both doing a goofy face or just saying, hey, or if it's, at a live event, obviously, like I said, selfie or just a shot of you in the audience, however you want to do it. And then as soon as you leave, literally in your car, or as soon as you get off Zoom, post again. Hey, it was so awesome to be on the Rock and Give podcast. Ping Sean or whoever the host is, right? And then what are they going to do? They're going to like it. They're going to comment, oh, that was an awesome episode. You crushed it, right? Get them while it's exciting, while they remember you. And they're going to comment most likely. They're going to share it. So now you're getting more juice out of this opportunity. Then what do you have? You have all this content, which of course you're going to watch the game tape so that you can grow as a speaker, work with your coach if you have one, so that you can grow in your level of awareness and become a better speaker and become more effective at presenting yourself, your call to action, all the things to drive business for your business. So then you can chop up that video. You can take still shot photos, screenshots of that video and little video snippets. You can use very simple software out there to click a few buttons and literally chop it up for you, or you can do it manually, however you want. And ultimately now you've got all this content, right? And what are you going to do with that? You're going to post it across social, and you're not necessarily mentioning the podcast, although you might, but you're going to talk about the principles that you're teaching in those segments, right? Or whatever you're talking about in those segments. So now you're creating more content, and what are you doing? You're creating what? omnipresence, right? You're creating omnipresence in your social channels, and all the people that are seeing you are like, oh my goodness, Clinton is speaking all over the place. Look at, here he is speaking, here he is speaking, here he is speaking. You could literally, somebody could see you speaking 7 times and it's the same gig. But in their brain, they're not processing that. All they're processing is Clinton's a speaker. Clinton's a professional. Holy cow, he's all over the place. He's providing all this value, right? And this would be the same thing for you. And then, of course, when the podcast actually drops, and by the way, you never want to put the whole airing of the video out there, because then it steals the juice away from the actual podcast host who has that content now and wants to put it on their channels. So let them put the whole thing out. You're just chopping up little bits and pieces along the way. And then once they launch the actual live full version on the podcast platforms or YouTube or wherever they're putting it, they're going to ping you and you're going to do the same thing. Hey, it was such a great honor to be on your podcast and contribute to your audience members. I had so much fun, right? They're going to obviously provide your lead magnet link to drive people to your business. But then you have another opportunity to promote their version, right? The actual podcast version or the YouTube version. And of course, you want to do the same thing. Hey, it was great to be on your podcast, fired up. So now you've literally posted multiple times about the same dang speaking engagement. And what does this do? It creates omnipresence, right? And what does that more importantly do? It creates trust in your audience. It creates trust in your followers, and it creates engagement. It creates opportunities. It creates conversations. So if you found this valuable, like it, share it. And if you would like to get my top 8 tips to crush your next podcast episode or speaking engagement, then type the words podcast in the comments below, and I'll fire that off to you in a DM. You don't have to give me anything. You don't have to give me your email even. I'll fire that off to you, and it's going to be the top 8 things that you can do to crush your next podcast speaking engagement. All right. Look forward to seeing you soon. My name's Clinton Young, international keynote speaker, sales communication coach, and again, self-proclaimed awesome podcast guest. Signing off. We'll talk to you soon. All right. Peace.